I felt the cold metal tip of the gun press up to my temple. I heard the click of the bullet entering the chamber. $20 million was on the line. Two men from the mafia. No, I'm just playing. I wish it was that cool, but it's not. Let's get into it. So, as you can read the title, it's not completely clickbait because I did really get robbed. So, we're going to go over my experience getting robbed and what it's like to be robbed, because you never think you're going to be the dude to be robbed, let alone how it happens like this. I really wish I had a cooler robbing story than what I'm about to share with you guys, but this is it. So, yesterday I was at the gym. I'm walking in, ready to get my chest pump on, tweaking off that pre workout. So, I walk into the locker room, and I get into the locker room, and I notice that there's this dude sitting on the bench. And from first glance, I don't really think much of it. I do look at him. He was an African American male. He was wearing a face mask, a COVID face mask, and he had a hood up. And I'm not trying to be judgmental, all right? You feel me? I'm not trying to be judgmental. Maybe, I guess, some people would be like, okay, this is a little bit sketch, but not me. I'm like, he's probably in the locker room just waiting to change, waiting to work out. Sure, he's got his COVID mask up here, and all you can really see is his eyes, and he's got a hood on, and he's basically wearing all black, and he's just sitting in the corner of the locker room, basically. But I'm not thinking about that, okay? I've got my AirPods in, I'm banging music, the pre-workout's flowing through my veins, I'm ready to get a pump on. I could give a fuck. So I register him there. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I continue doing on what I do. I put my stuff in my locker, and I lock it up. So I had a lock on my locker. And I go and I'm working out. So I'm working out. I'm saying it's like 15 minutes later. I'm on bench press. I'm making sweet, sweet love to the bench press. All right. And I get a text on my phone that $450 has just been spent at Walgreens. And at first, you guys ever get those like spam text messages where it's like they're trying to like say, oh, you got scammed, you got to like put in your information. So at first I'm thinking it's like a scam text. I'm like, I'm not falling for that. Like, yeah, I didn't spend no $400 at Walgreens. Like, I've been at the gym, whatever. But then I get a second text from my other credit card company. So I got one from my first credit card company and then one from the second, and they were both for almost $400 charges. So now I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, like this might be like actually legit. So I'm like, okay, what the hell? So automatically, I just like my first instinct is to run back into the locker room. I get back into the locker room and I go up to my locker and I notice that my lock is gone now. It's closed and everything, but my locker just isn't there. And so my heart drops because I'm like, oh my God, did I actually forget to just lock up my stuff in the locker? And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, no, I'm certain I did it. And I felt like where I store my lock. And I was like, no, I definitely locked my stuff. Like, I know 100% I locked my stuff. And I opened my wallet because my wallet was still in my locker and all of my cards are gone. Only my money cards, though. So he like really went and just like went through my wallet and he took all the cards. So I'm sitting there and I realized that my cards are gone and have just $800 of my money has just been spent at freaking Walgreens, dude. I'm not even sure what this dude was buying for $800. But anyways, so I'm like, what the hell? So my first instinct is to just run out of the locker room. So I sprint out of the locker room to the front of the gym as if I'm going to catch him, even though like I just wasn't thinking clearly because I'm like, oh, I got to like get him, like get my shit back. Like, so I run to the front of the gym and I'm like, what am I doing up here? Like, I'm not going to do anything. He's already spent the money. He's already at Walgreens or wherever. So I'm like, this is kind of pointless now. So then I run back to the locker room and I'm like, I'm like, don't know what to do. So I'm running back and forth. Everyone's looking at me in the gym like I'm freaking lost my mind. They're like, what is this dude running up and down for? And I go up to one of the managers at the gym and I'm like, dude, I tell him what happened. I'm like, yo, someone cut my lock. They took out my cards. I'm like, can we look at the security footage? And he tries to pull up the footage and he was like super helpful about it. But he's like, dude, we got no good angles. The dude's wearing a mask. He's all like hooded out. Like there was no good angles. So I'm like, what the heck? So then I'm like, I don't really know what to do. So I start calling my bank and getting all my cards frozen. So I got like my credit card frozen. He had my bank and I got that all frozen. But he had already spent $800 on the credit cards. So it was kind of pointless now. I just made it to where he couldn't spend more money. You know what I mean? But he got already cashed out big time. So after I get my cards frozen and they're all aware that my cards have been stolen, I drive up to the Walgreens, and it was the Walgreens that was literally like 5 minutes away from my gym. So he really just like smashed and grabbed my stuff, went to Walgreens, cashed out so fast before I like even realized what was happening. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, yo, like, can I get the footage? And they basically told me that they can't do anything unless I go file a police report. And I'm like, fuck, like, nah, I gotta be a snitch. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't wanna be a snitch. I don't wanna be that dude. But I'm like, no, I also want my $800 back. And if I have to snitch to get my $800 back, I'm like, I'm gonna snitch. You know, fucking call me Gunna, call me 6ix9ine. I don't care, man. I'm snitching. I'm getting my money back. So I go and I file a police report so that they can like go investigate and not be able to get the footage to him and whatnot. And yeah, now I'm here and I'm down about $800. And that's my experience getting robbed. Yeah, so it really wasn't a cool experience. It honestly sucked. Like, I wish I had a cool story. Like, I wish I could be like, I had the $20 million, the gun to my head, the mafia boss. Like, it was lame as fuck. So now I'm just like out money and I don't even have a good story, man. I don't even have a good story. Some dude cut my lock. I don't even know how he got bolt cutters in there. Like, how did he conceal these cutters to cut through all of these locks? Because it wasn't just mine. He went through a bunch of people's stuff. So he somehow within like 10 minutes was able to cut through like 4 or 5 other people's locks to dig through their stuff. Crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, I just never would have expected that to happen at the gym. And it just sucks because I just wish there was like more of a story, or like I could have like fought him and like, I don't know. I feel like I would have rather gotten jumped, and people are gonna be like, what, like that? But at least like I can like go down with a fight. You know what I mean? Like, at least I'm like, oh my God, like I'm getting robbed, like I'm going down swinging, and then I get my ass kicked and they take my money. Like, I'm like, okay, that's at least like cool story. I come out with black eyes. I'm like, yeah, you should have seen the other dudes. It was 4 dudes versus me, and they took my. Nah, dude, I'm over here fucking making sweet love to the bench in the gym while motherfucker calmly walks out of the gym with all of my cards, bro, and goes and spends $800. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. And I won't even lie, I'm a little butthurt. If you guys are following the channel, you'll see that my last video was actually manifestation. I was talking about a manifestation technique. I've been really big into trying to rewire my subconscious and do all this, you know, sort of stuff like that to really change your reality. And I will say, ever since I've started doing this, let me tell you, I've been manifesting quite a bit, all right? I think I'm doing it a little wrong, but I was able to manifest myself getting robbed. So that's really cool. You know, I've been putting in that work, and I'm getting robbed. So man, you know, that I definitely didn't draw that on my piece of little manifestation paper, I'll tell you that. But yeah, that's my experience getting robbed. I wish it was a cooler story, but yeah, stay safe out there, guys. The world is crazy. And if this video ever were to come across that dude, first off, I want to say fuck you. Get your money up, bro. And second, I want to say only like fuck you, but like at the same time, he really could have took my entire wallet and like had to make me go through all these hoops to fucking get my ID back and all that. So, you know, and there's a good side of me, there's a good part of me that was like, maybe, just maybe, his mom is dying and she's on her deathbed and he needed this medication from Walgreens to save her life. And he had to rob and steal in order to save his mom's life. And that's the good part of me that's trying to make myself feel better by thinking that, because I'm pretty sure he probably just loaded up a bunch of gift cards with my money and just walked out that bitch. But yeah, well, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love.